Welcome back, YouTube family. Welcome to my channel, Learn Arabic with Dr. Elnoor. Today, I am going to talk about the last and the third part of the Hamza. As I said in the previous two videos, that the Hamza is a long lesson, so that's why I divided it into three different parts. So today, we are going to talk about the Hamza when Hamza stands alone with no seat. Like Hamza does not need a chair today. Let's kick off and see how Hamza can stand alone, or how the Hamza can handle being alone without having a seat to sit on it. Let's go there right now. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so, share it, like it, so you will get more videos and more uploads as I do them or as I upload them. مرحبا مرة ثانية. Welcome again. This is the Elnoor channel, Learn Arabic with Dr. Elnoor, and this is the Hamza, the third part of the Hamza. As I promised, today will be the final lesson talking about the Hamza. The previous video talked about the Hamza when Hamza was, sitting on the Alif, or when Hamza sits on the Alif. And the second video talked about the Hamza sitting on the Waw and on the Ya. And today we are talking about the Hamza sitting independently with no seat. Hamza today does not need any seat or any chair. Let's figure out how that is possible. So let's see Hamza in the middle. And why we started Hamza being in the middle, because as I said in the beginning, when the Hamza is at the beginning of a word, you starting a word with the Hamza, always the Hamza sits on the Alif. Whether it's the kasra, the Hamza sits underneath the Alif, but it still needs the Alif to be there. So that's why today's focus is the Hamza sitting alone or standalone Hamza in the middle and towards the end. So let's figure that out. So number one, we have two rules here talking about the Hamza sitting alone in the middle. The Hamza is written independently when it has a fatha. So the Hamza itself has a fatha, as you can see here, fatha. The Hamza has a fatha, 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 and the Hamza has the fatha, and the Hamza has the fatha here. So that's rule number one. So rule number one is kind of common rule, but with that rule, the Hamza has to be preceded with the long vowel alif. In these examples, we see here qira'ah, and qira'ah is reading. So the Hamza here has the alif and preceded by the long vowel alif. Qira'ah. Isa'a. 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 Isa'a is defamation, or you talk, bad about somebody. It's called isa'a, defamation. Isa'a. So the Hamza has the fatha and preceded by the long vowel alif. That's why the Hamza is seated alone here, is standing alone here with no seat. The same rule applies for qira'ah. Atasa'al, atasa'al. Atasa'al is I ask. So atasa'al, the Hamza here has the fatha, as we mentioned, and preceded by the long vowel alif. Atasa'al. So in this case, the Hamza does not need a seat. Also, tafa'ala. Tafa'ala is to be optimistic. Tafa'ala. And as you can see here, the Hamza has the alif, has the fatha, and preceded by the long vowel alif. Long vowel alif. Tafa'ala. That is rule number A. But the Hamza in all these three different sub-rules, the Hamza has to have the fatha, and this is the fatha. And then with that fatha on the Hamza, in order for the Hamza to be sitting alone, or to be seated alone with no help or no chair, number one, preceded by the long vowel. Number two, the Hamza is preceded by the long vowel waw. So in A is preceded by the long vowel alif. Here is preceded by the long vowel waw. And let's do some readings here. Maqru'ah, maqru'ah. Maqru'ah is is read. Something is being read by some, because I read a book, so the book will be maqru, kitab maqru. I read it, it's read, something that being read, maqru'ah. But here I can tell you something is feminine. That's why the hamza is sitting here in the middle, and then the ta marbuta, maqru'ah. So the hamza has a fatha and preceded by the long vowel wow, muru'ah, muru'ah. And muru'ah here is like generosity, or being like somebody is being at his or her best, doing good things to others. So called muru'ah, muru'ah, muru'ah. So the hamza has the fatha and then preceded by the long vowel wow, muru'ah. Mamlu'ah. Mamlu'ah is filled, something's being filled by water or milk or something. Mamlu'ah. So you see the hamza has the fatha and then preceded by the long vowel wow, mamlu'ah. So in this case, when the hamza has the fatha and preceded by the long vowel wow, the hamza is seated alone. And in this one, the hamza has the fatha and preceded by the long vowel alif, the hamza is sits alone or be seated, will be just independently written with no help or no chair. Let's see number C. C, when the hamza has the fatha, that's still the case, and preceded by waw with the sukoon. And when any letter, say the long vowel waw, alif, or the long vowel ya, has the sukoon, these behave like consonants, not long vowels anymore. Because so this one, I won't call it the long vowel, but it's a waw with the sukoon. So the hamza also sits alone when it's preceded by waw with the sukoon. Daw'aha, daw'aha. So daw is light, so daw'aha is its light, or maybe her light. So in Arabic, like there is no distinction between it, feminine, or she. It's the same. So daw'aha. So this light belongs to something feminine. Daw'aha. So in this case, the hamza is seated or just sitting alone with no seat here. That's the rule number one. Rule number two, when the hamza has a dhamma, here we say the hamza has the fatha. Here the hamza has the dhamma and preceded by the long vowel, I should say the letter waw with the sukoon. Doesn't behave here like a long vowel, but daw'uhu, daw'uhu. So the waw has the sukoon and the hamza has the dhamma. Daw'uhu. So in this case also the hamza is written separately or independently with no help or with no chair. So these are the two cases or the two situations where the hamza is seated alone. It takes time for you to go back and review this more and more and more in order to grasp the concept. But I do not want to go back and repeat and regurgitate the same thing. But to sum it up here, when the hamza is sitting in the middle, the hamza has to have the fatha in rule one, the fatha with hamza and preceded with the long vowel alif, the fatha with the hamza and preceded with the long vowel waw, and the fatha with the hamza, and there is a waw with the sukoon preceding the hamza. In this case, the hamza has to be written independently. Also, rule number two, when the hamza has a dhamma, not a fatha in this case, but preceded by a waw with the sukoon, also in this case, the hamza must be written independently. So let's move and see when the hamza is hamza at the end. The hamza at the end. So the hamza at the end will be written independently when it's preceded by any letter with a sukoon. So any letter could be like I highlighted in red, could be any letter. So in this case, let's read this. So is burden, like a burden of something, burden to prove something or burden to do something. Called So the ba has the sukoon preceding the hamza, so that's why the hamza is seated alone. Also, jaza, jaza. So the Hamza, the long vowel, actually is like jaza, not really long vowel, but had the long vowel has the sukoon, and then the Hamza is sitting by itself. Hudu, hudu is calmness or something being quiet. Hudu. So the Hamza has the wow has the sukoon. So then the Hamza is written independently. So these when the Hamza is at the end, any letter that precedes the Hamza and that letter has the sukoon, we write the Hamza. Only if the Hamza is the last one should be written independently. Well, thank you so much. And this lesson is kind of short. I don't want to drag it as the previous two lessons. Thank you so much. مع السلامة يا شباب. See you شباب. أراكم في الفيديو القادم. See you in the next video. And also, please make sure that you got the Hamza under control. Hamza is kind of, I call it a naughty boy. Just put it that way. But thank you.